Alrighty, hello everyone, it's Danger Blue Danny here. We're back again. Hopefully everyone's been enjoying this. I think we're close to the end. I keep saying this, I said this an episode ago, but I honestly feel like maybe this might be the last, or the next episode might be the last episode. I've really been enjoying this, it's really been fun. Alright, let's do this. I have a couple lined up as well. Let's just get into the story. Class continues as always. Monotonous lecturing from the teacher, the typical brick to the face of the Monday's mornings. An uninteresting, boring shatter of information tossed around the room. Some students diligently absorbing themselves in notes, others more apathetically scribbling down the occasional jot as time continues to pass slowly. It's a shame the joys of the weekend are now beyond me, yet all I can do is wallow in the thoughts of a better future. Just what is that future? The notion of change all around me, Kyoko, Naomi, it's easy enough to say I'm on a different path through school life to where I'm heading before. Have things really changed? My newfound ambition to solve the problems between the two of the girls who were once strangers now past, the questions of the future once again well in the depths of my mind. But should I really care? As long as we're happy, the tides can take us wherever.
Something on your phone strike your funny bone?
Thanks for Friday with a heart. It's not that I did anything. It was good to see you having fun. Okay. What?
It must have been your reflection then.
As the class erupts into laughter, all I can do is return to teacher's irate stare as I continue to gaze at my phone. I guess now's the time you asked me to stand in a corridor for the rest of the lesson, huh?
You know me too well.
With nothing shy of a giggle escaping her mouth, Kyoko freezes in shock as the teacher turns to stare to her.
I'll go outside too.
Just what was so funny about me getting into trouble? It's not that it's rare occurrence, like it's a rare occurrence. Oh my
Because
god.
it is.
And you let it ruin your reputation as a diligent, well-behaved student?
So? Sometimes you have to have a little fun.
What if it was a science class? You wouldn't risk getting thrown out then.
Of course I would. You know I hate science class.
I was gonna say that.
Still, something bad would have to happen to put me off science. Don't you think?
I'm not gonna say what I thought immediately because it's probably it's probably stupid. Okay, alright, anyway. I'm not sure what apocalyptic scenario she's imagining, but I can't exactly picture her putting down her lab coat for good.
Anyway, speaking of science, I have an idea.
Oh boy. And your idea
I
is?
want to invite Naomi to the club.
You do know Naomi's the captain of the athletics team, right? It's not like she doesn't. She was just on it after all, but the question still stands.
I know, but she can always come sometimes when she isn't busy.
Frankly, after spending enough time with her, I don't really think Naomi actually does any club duties whatsoever. I don't see Kyoko making a return there either, but it's not like anything is going to keep her away from science. I guess?
What do you mean, you guess?
Well, you can give her a taster session, but she doesn't seem like the type to like science.
That's not the point, you dumbass.
Ooh. I can see she's rubbing off on you. I thought the same exact thing.
Shut up.
Ooh. You want to spend more time with her, right?
Yeah, that's obvious, isn't it? I just think it would be fun to have her there.
Moving her eyes towards the floor, the sight before me radiates cuteness as Kyoko fiddles with her fingers. The essence of adorability packaged in the form of a short, science-loving girl. I'll ask her about it.
Well?
Of course. It's not like I don't want her at the club, too. You know. Smiling softly, Kyoko looks back towards me, a beautiful painting of joy in her eyes. The swing of rosy shades against her cheeks an adorable palette of cuteness. At the end of the day, having Naomi at the club really would be fun. It's not like Kyoko can rejoin the athletics team. Besides her undying devotion to science, the scars of the past still dig deep into heart, even if they're slowly beginning to heal. It's not like it's something she wants to remember.
Thank you. We should probably get going to lunch.
What? Why?
The bell just rang.
I must have missed it. Turning on her heel enough to toss around her hair beautifully throughout the air, Kyoko takes one trot forward before stopping short as I rest my hand on her slender shoulder. Where are you going? The cafeteria's that way.
Who said I was going to lunch?
You did, like a minute ago.
I'm going to the lab to study. Unlike you, I've come prepared.
Unzipping her bag gently, Kyoko slides out a lunchbox from within. A cute pink plastic box clenched by her oddly delicate-looking fingers.
See? Lunch.
Despite in awe of her own sense of organization, I can't help but wonder how Kyoko managed to sneak her bag out with her without being noticed by the teacher.
Anyway, I'll see you later.
Alright, see ya. Noticing my hand still placed gently on her shoulder, I quickly pulled my hand backwards as Kyoko inches ahead, stepping along diligently through the corridor towards the lab. Seeing her daily, it's hard not to now have a biased definition of what cute really is. Her chocolate hair brushing softly against her neck as it hangs down in her typical done-up do. Yo, we don't like Kyoko, we like Naomi. I guess I should head to lunch too. Okay, just making sure. Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure. They didn't skip anything. Pushing open the doors to the cafeteria, the usual sight of crowds of fellow students queuing up for din-dins greets me as I too scout out for some food. With the line for hot food ominously long, a quick rummage through my pockets is enough to switch my focus to the vending machines. Walking over, it's apparent that I'm not the only one impatient enough to skip out on having a proper meal. As I get closer, a familiar set of flowering auburn hair against an athletic figure stands out from the crowd. With her hand reaching up towards one of the buttons in the struggle, I can't help but laugh under my breath as I approach her from behind.
Why do they have to put these things so fucking high?
Oh! Striking not only her fingers, but body upwards towards the button, I take a quick glance at the label to find myself unsurprised. She wants those canonically unbranded chocolate-coated biscuit sticks around. Oh my god, my bad. Ignorant to my presence, I quickly tap the button with the power of the height advantage bestowed upon me by the heavens. Having noticed this, it takes less than a moment for Naomi to turn around at record speed.
What do you think? Oh, it's just you. Thanks for that. I'm
What do you
sorry
think?
for shouting at you.
What's with the sudden show of affection? Aren't you used to being angry with me?
That's because you keep pissing me off.
With an expression like that, I really don't think I do.
Anyway, how was your weekend?
That was a quick change of topic.
I'm just trying to make conversation. Jeez.
Alright, my weekend was fine. Heard you and Kyoko had a good time, though.
You were there, idiot. But, yeah. We've been talking a bit more since then.
That's what you wanted, right?
Aye aye, Captain.
I can hear you. Seeing that smile on her face, even if it's only faint, warms my heart. Knowing that they're both happy, it's a good feeling. Oh, and Kyoko wanted you to join the science club, too.
What?
Her response, shocked, is just as blunt as my delivery.
But I'm on the athletics team. The captain at that.
She doesn't expect you to quit, she just wants you to pop around the club sometimes, you know?
I mean, I guess.
It'll help make up for all the time you missed together after school. All the time you miss being in the same club. You know, you can even shower with her.
Alright, I'll go.
It didn't take much convincing her to give in.
I'm not just going because you asked, alright? I'm going to see Kyoko. You could be a fly on the wall for all I care.
If that's how you want to feel.
Anyway, I really have to go, so I'll see you later.
Getting a somewhat slow walk for an athlete out of the canteen, Naomi's hair once again caresses her back as it flows smoothly down to the top of her waist. She's caught me looking at her like this. I don't really think she'd be all that happy. Bro's a gooner. With the typical wave of relief washing over the class, lessons for the day, and as abruptly as they normally begin, with yet another quick outburst from the teacher.
You all know midterms are approaching. Just because you don't have homework doesn't mean you can slack off.
Yeah, we know.
With grades like yours, I don't think you do.
Yo, shut up, Ben.
You're lucky class has ended. Otherwise your ass would be outside.
Ooh, why everybody cussing now? At least my unintended gall was saved by the chiming of the bell. The teacher begrudgingly moving on with tidying his desk, I joined the trail of students heading out to the corridor.
Where do you think you're going? We have the club today, remember?
I'm going to the club. We have club every day. Why would I forget?
Because you're a dumbass.
Eh?
Oh, right. I invited Naomi to the club.
You did? I mean, you did. Thank you.
You don't have to be so surprised.
The nervousness on Kyoko's face quickly shifts to a warm smile, soon but to be reflected by Naomi. The two of them happen to be together once again, seemingly. Despite Naomi not having a care in the world about science, it was clear from the get-go that she truly cares about Kyoko. I couldn't care about science either, but being in the club is nothing short of fun. Together, side by side, the two girls step forward on our path towards the club. Weaving through this swath of students and emerging from their respective classes, it must be a weird sight. Two of the school's most famous students, almost hand in hand with a lowlife like me trailing behind. Something sort of creepy to outside observers. Approaching the doors of the lab yet again is now so routine that the wave of deja vu hardly scares me anymore.
Welcome to the club.
But it's still a pretty nice feeling.
You're really keen on making me a member, huh?
That's because only members are allowed inside.
But you let me in before.
That time doesn't count.
And what about when we have...
Class doesn't count either.
But with her apathy towards science class, I can't help but feel like I'm struck a nerve. Proudly pouting towards me, her cheeks puffed out in a shrewd display of dominance, it doesn't take long for her anger to quell before she turns back to Naomi.
Anyway, shall we head inside?
Sure. I'm not gonna resist becoming a member.
So I don't really see her engaging much in actual activities, besides sitting on the side like me and watching Kyoko do whatever she actually does. Regardless, following them inside, I turned their duet into a trio as I shut the door behind me. Three of us now in our own little world. As expected, it wouldn't be the Science Club without a handful of Kyoko's antics.
What does this thing do?
It's a conical flask. You put stuff in it.
And
what about that thing?
Pointing to a small boxy device sat upon a nearby desk, Kyoko's face lights up as she turns her face towards it.
That's a centrifuge.
Excuse me?
A what? Fridge?
No, fuge. How do I explain it? It spins stuff.
Spin stuff? That sounds familiar, but I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Going by the look of her face, I don't think she understands. It's not like I can't feel her pain. Setting slowly in the distance behind panels of glass, the sun coats the room in a glow of amber as the evening quickly catches on. Oh my god, sorry about that. Kyoko's face warmly lit before us as Naomi and I watch on, peering blissfully as she tidies up the usual day's worth of fun. So, you enjoy the club?
What sort of question is that? Of course I enjoyed it. I'll just leave the science to her from now on. She knows what she's doing.
But it's still fun, right?
You think I'm going to say no after all I've been through to get here? All we've been through.
No. Her smile, sun-kissed by the setting sun, it's an infectious sight, one I can't help return. Being able to see her like this, having reached out to me, it's heartwarming to see a smile on her face. I can't help but like her. All we've been through. That is true. This might be the last. This might be it.
There. Done.
Done what?
She's done with her notes, idiot.
Yeah, idiot.
You don't have to join in. Letting out a laugh, Naomi's eyes are brought to tears as she wipes them away with nothing shy of a grin on her face. Kyoko, caught by her outburst, smiles softly in the sunlight as she neatens a small stack of papers.
I guess you could say we're finished for the day. I'm glad you enjoyed the club.
I always enjoy the club.
I didn't mean you.
I know.
I did. I had no idea what you were doing, but it was fun.
I'm glad. Anyway, I'll probably have to spend a bit of time cleaning up. You two are free to go home.
You sure? You don't want to walk home with us?
I live nowhere near you. We only walk out the gates. Really, it's fine.
No way I can argue with the adorable smile adoring her face. The sky now blissfully orange. I guess there's nothing wrong with listening to her.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, too.
Walking out in the corridor's embrace, now empty span of lockers, windows, and rooms, Naomi turns to me with a look of anger plastered on her face. Her lips pursed in a pout amidst the specks of dust shimmering in the glow of the evening
Are you
sunlight.
sure it's okay to just leave her there? You could have offered to help her.
Trust me, I've tried. She doesn't take offers for help.
If that's how she feels. Still, you can at least offer. It makes you look like an ass otherwise.
And not you? I didn't see you offer to help her either.
Of course not. I have the best manners this school has seen.
Ah, yeah, right. Ow, what was that
I
for?
didn't hit you that hard.
But you can hardly call it good manners. You didn't have to do it again.
I'll make it up to you and get you a drink in the canteen.
I can't object to that. Strolling into the empty cafeteria, Naomi and I and the other souls around missed a span of tables and chairs. The lights at the back of the hall beckon us towards them, and Naomi keeps a smile on her face. Walking towards them together, a quick glance towards her is enough to send me into a zone of admiration. The silky flow of her hair trailing down the side of her rosy cheeks. Her stern yet warm nature as she proudly walks towards the machines. Glint in her eyes as she turns to face me, a look of irritation ripe from her face.
could you at least avoid looking at me for at least 5 minutes? You're just like everyone else.
Not
Anyway,
necessarily.
what do you want? I'm buying, right?
I don't know. Vanilla soda?
I'm having the last one. You can have a juice.
Stabbing the button with gusto, a carton of orange juice falls into a tray below as she reaches her slender fingers inside. Who does she think I am? Kyoko? Thanks.
You're welcome.
Lips is nothing of shy of a grin. Amy cracks the seal of her can and begins sipping away contentedly. After pressing down on the can's surface, her soft lips break away before returning to yet another smug grin.
Fancy playing a game?
What a grin like that? With a grin like that, I can't really say I do.
Come on, the rules are simple. You wanted this cola, right?
And I have this juice now. No thank you. No thanks to you.
I'll give it to you. If you can beat me in a race.
I fucking knew it. Hardly much of a game, let alone a challenge. Me and an athletic slacker versus her, the school's top athlete and idol. Even the bookies wouldn't take bets on this when the outcome was as fundamental as the laws of motion themselves. As if that's going to happen.
Well, it's going to have to.
Almost in a flash, Naomi disappears from my sight, leaving behind nothing but the sound of fast-paced footsteps as I turn my head to trail them. Between my fingers, the grip I once held onto my school bag quickly relaxed as I clenched nothing but emptiness. She didn't, did she?
If you want it back, you're gonna have to keep up.
She took my bag, shutting the doors behind her. Naomi runs off into a corridor, now completely out of my sight. Leave me alone in a now bleak cafeteria. Is this really her idea of a game? Theft? I begin to chase her, albeit begrudgingly. Struggling my way into a quick pace down the corridor, running past several sets of lockers as they skirt past my vision. Shifting my eyes forward, my goads me to the far end of the hall. Naomi lifted my bag in the air and remained stood in one spot, teasing me before heading out another set of doors. I think it's gonna be a thumbnail. God, she's fast.
Clearing the halls. Some of us are still trying to do work. Wait, you.
Turning my head backwards, Mr. Kimura's face lights in his usual erratic manner before I quickly turn back, moving into a faster sprint. I don't want to spend my time being yelled at whilst Naomi revels in her cheeky antics. I have to push forward. Running out of the yard, my quick pace slows in a mellow walk as the blunt end of my effort strikes with force. A heavy breath as I almost pant at Naomi's feet. Her grin enriches my self-esteem as I inch forward from it collapsing. All the while, she stands unscathed, having not even broken a sweat.
I'll give you a C for effort.
You... No. Your idea of a joke isn't funny.
Hey, I had a good time. Here's your bag back.
I've never really thought of myself as out of shape, but seeing her stand there so complacently really puts the difference between us in perspective. She's on another level. Thanks.
You know what? Because you tried your hardest, I'll let you have just 1 cent.
I'm a dog it. You're still carrying that?
Of course. Everyone needs some refreshment after a tough workout.
What do you mean by that? Talking about tough, to me it seems like she's just come back from a leisurely walk. You know, wouldn't this be considered an indirect kiss?
Wipe it off first then! Ugh, you ass!
I was going to. Bringing the can closer to my mouth, Naomi watches as I slowly take a sip of the drink. Having given it more than through a thorough wipe beforehand, it tastes as I expected.
Okay, that's enough. I said you're only allowed a sip.
Snatching the can out of my hand, Naomi steps back before bringing it back to her mouth, taking another gulp. What was that for? I was going to give it back.
I'm thirsty.
You didn't wipe it.
Eh?
Hand on the ground with a clang. the remaining content spills out on the floor around Naomi's feet. She looks down, holding a flustered expression. Quickly resuming her gaze on me, the moment of her embarrassment has quickly fleeted into one of anger.
Now look what you did!
Me? You're the one who dropped it.
Still! Anyway, you lost. I won! Get your ass into shape!
My ass is in shape. Anyone would lose against you.
Well, if you came to the gym, you might improve your chances.
With you? And leave Kyoko alone in the club? What was the point of you joining if you're just going to drag me out?
We don't have to do it after school, jeez. Of course I don't want to leave her alone. We could do it at lunch. Kyoko would be fine with that, right?
Considering I never really got lunch with Kyoko, she's either spending time in class or the labs. I can't really call it a bad idea. Then again, giving away my lunch to spend time being bossed by Naomi does have its downsides, as much as I enjoy spending time with her. What about eating? When am I supposed to have lunch?
Eat during lessons. That's what I do.
Smiling towards Naomi, it takes only a moment to conjure my answer. I'll have to think about it. The very same thing said to Kyoko not only that long ago. Seeing Naomi stand there under the evening light is certainly a beautiful sight. Her auburn hair swaying in a gentle breeze, shimmering under the sun as she returns my smile with a look of bewilderment. Yet she doesn't look any less graceful. Shall we head home?
I was thinking the same thing.
Turning on the spot, Naomi's hair sways briskly around, moving slightly aside as she turns her head to face me.
Well...
Starting out with a single step, I quickly join Naomi's side as we walk towards the gates graced by the evening, amber glow. The scene, characteristic of any sort of cheesy romance novel, couldn't be any different. I wouldn't want it to be any different. I want to spend more time with her like this. I'll give you a C for effort. Streaming through the windows, the remainder of the morning's sunlight coats the class. The warm. Oh wait, this is the next day, isn't it? And we're done. Oh, see, they're trying to get me to finish it. You know what? The episode's gonna be shorter and shorter. Okay, so it is the next day. You know what? Let's do the lunch break. Fuck it. Streaming through the windows, the remainders of the morning sunlight coats the class with the warm glow as the seconds count down to the day's lunch break. Apathy, as always, plentiful as the abstract absurdity of today's topic, is hardly absorbed in a crowd of bored students. Even Kyoko, fiddling around with her pencil, doesn't really seem to care all much about what advanced aeronautics.
We'll catch
what the hell
up
that
with this
is.
tomorrow. Feel free to have an early lunch on me.
What? Really? Ugh.
Ignoring the girl's comments, the teacher continues tidying his desk as the class lets loose to the lackadaisical state. The chattering sounds of others packing up for lunch sounds around me. My own thoughts fill the space in my head as I ponder over the events of yesterday. Naomi, her invitation to the gym, her pretty face furnished by the evening sun, each trend of her flourishing in the light. It really is a tempting offer. Showing up wouldn't hurt. Seeing as, with a quick glance, Kyoko seems occupied with her own lunchtime activities. It's not like I have anything better to do. Merging in the remainder of the class, slowly shifting out towards the door, I make my way past several desks one by one.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
I want to be stopped by Kyoko. Where do you think I'm going? Where do you think I'm going?
Wait. I haven't got time for your questions. You were supposed to have lunch.
Since when did we agree on that?
It's now?
We don't normally eat lunch together.
Well, maybe we should start
Peering to the side, Kyoko's face flushed from the rosy shade. Sides of her face cheeks catching in the midday sun as she bites her lip, before quickly looking back towards me as if nothing had really happened. Still, as she glances back towards me, it's clear enough that she's waiting for a response. I shouldn't tease her. Yet, as vague as they were, I can't go back on my plans with Naomi. Tell her you're meeting Naomi. Standing there like that, nervously fidgeting around with her, hair almost pouting with the puppy dog eyes, it's really hard to lie to her. Knowing that the bonds between them have healed, both having a desire to rekindle their previous passions, telling her I'm spending time with Naomi surely wouldn't be that bad. In the end, maybe it's just what she wants. Kyoko, I'm sorry, but I've already got plans for lunch. I'm going to be meeting Naomi at the gym. You really don't know how hard it is to turn you down. After all, she's still cute. Getting to spend lunch with her would have been a dream not so long ago.
Oh, that's fine.
Returning my words with a smile, Kyoko rests her arms by her side before continuing to pack her bag. As Naomi said, Kyoko really seems fine with it. Turning back to me, her hair ruffled her cheeks from the movement of her neck. Kyoko gives me a brief moment to glance over her cute aura as she stands idle in a moment.
You're interested in athletics?
Well, not really. I just think I could be a little fitter, you know? Kyoko takes a moment to observe my words, resting her fingers against her lips as she ponders briefly under now warm sunlight as midday quickly passes. Oh my god. Her cheeks softly glowing pink as she resumes her gaze on me, resting her arms on her side as she smiles once again.
Well, you better not join the athletics team. You have responsibilities as vice captain of the club.
Vice captain? Vice captain? Since when?
When you joined. There were only 2 of us, after all. That, and some people on the athletics team aren't all that nice.
Damn. Trailing off into sadness, Kyoko lowers her head in what seems to be an attempt to conceal her face. Yet, from her, it's still too evident that her time on the athletics team has as many bad memories as good. As her glassy eyes remain grounded on the floor, lips pursed in a frown, the feeling to speak up wells inside me. But Naomi's nice, right? Despite having lived under misconception, 2 broken hearts miles apart, the truth of Naomi's intentions are finally out there. They're friends again.
She is. I'm glad we can all be friends together. All 3 of us. So, thank you.
What did I even do?
You know what you did.
As true as it is, their own feelings played the biggest part in bringing them back together. I can't take responsibility for that. Ending her words with a smile, Kyoko looks back towards me with a blush. It's a nice sight, one which I can appreciate.
But you have to come to the club later, okay?
Shyly peering away, Kyoko's blush deepens to further contrast her usual smooth, pale skin. My attendance record is quite good. I've only missed 1, right?
But 1's still too many. Still, I guess it's okay. I trust you to come. We're friends, right?
With yet another smile, her complimentary blush now less pronounced, Kyoko looks towards me in anticipation of my answer. Of course, there's only 1 I can give her. Excuse me. Right. So why do I want to miss it? You're the reason I go, after all.
Keep your charisma to yourself. But I'm glad.
Considering the time we've known one another can be called brief, seeing the smile on Kyoko's face is never tiring. She's cute. Anyway, I should probably be off.
Have fun. I'll see you later.
Leaving behind Kyoko with a mutual pair of smiles, I make my way out of the corridor. Moving through the sprawls of people heading around the school in the midst of the lunch break, my path takes me further towards the gym as I head down several sets of stairs. As I pass by occupied classrooms, a group of students eagerly taking the small slice of free time they've had to chat, it's interesting to listen to the sounds of school life. Compared to the tranquility of after school, it's quite a ruckus. Really is quite a ruckus. Oh my god. I think I'm talking too much. Or too fast, too. Emerging out of the tranquility of the outside world, the warm embrace of nature firmly behind me, I walk into the gym with a skip of my step as I scout around for Naomi. The typical smell of sweat fragrant in the air as the sounds of those still training bounce off the walls and around the hall. It's a different environment to that in the bustling corridors, but still lively in its own unique way. Catching a glimpse of her auburn hair as she runs across the hall, our eyes make contact as we return a mutual pair of smiles.
Surprise!
She's blocking my eyes. It's not really surprising when you ran up to me beforehand,
Who
is
said
it?
that was my surprise? Wow, you really are an idiot.
Thanks. I'm gonna take that as sarcasm.
No, it was a compliment.
Why is it dark? Anyway, so if slamming your palms into my eyes wasn't your surprise, what exactly do you want to show me? Boobies. Oh, never mind. Moment of silence passing, I look back towards Naomi as she bats such a gleeful smile. A moment of silence passing. Oh, right. Never mind. Something I can't exactly return with my mind full of nothing but confusion. What?
Me, you idiots. You're going to watch me train.
Excuse me? I thought you wanted me to train.
Oh, that? I wasn't being too serious.
So you tricked me then.
What? It's not like you can't learn anything from watching me, right? Isn't observation something you do in science?
But I'm not a scientist.
But you're in the science club. Hey, are you really going to argue about watching me get all hot and bothered?
You could have phrased that differently. But I'm not gonna argue. It would be nice to watch.
Do you really want to train all that much? You can race against me if you want.
I don't think that'll end that very well for me.
What are you? A scaredy cat or something?
That wasn't very nice. Lining herself up in the track, Naomi looks back with a smile, beckoning me over with a cheek I've come to expect. Fine. I'll start the count. Working on my way beside her, I place my feet against the line firmly, taking one last look at her smug face before returning my eyes to the track. 3, 2...
1, go!
Ah! Blitz gone. Sprinting ahead in a flurry, imagine Naomi gets smaller and smaller as she races her way down the track. Flaunting her sneakers as a brazen act of valor as a smack against the track. Barely managed to keep her in my sight, a small crowd lines the side of the track as we make our way around the gym. An audience, albeit unwelcome, engrossed in awe of a girl. This is Naomi, their idol. Me? I'm just some guy to them. You know, I think you should have been the one expelled for cheating. But to her, I'm her friend.
Looks like I'm not the only thing you can't catch. Why don't you slow down?
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Further progressing around the ring, our audience slowly dying off as Naomi slows to a stop. Standing at the finish line, flaunting her typical smug grin, she brushes her flowing hair aside as her warm smile shifts to a look of disgust. The classic bait and switch.
Wow, it really took you that long?
Almost bowing her feet, my back arched over, continue to regain my breath. All I can do is scoff towards her as she brash attitude stays firm. The girl on her podium in the oath as she kneels.
Ew!
At her kneels, oh my god. What?
Just look at you. You're all...
Hot and bothered?
Yeah, there's a water fountain in the locker room. Just go use that.
You say so, Your Majesty. Heading off in the direction of the changing rooms, the image of Naomi disappears as from my sight the sounds of idle chatter resonating out from the odd groups gathered around our gym. Oh my god, sorry. It's certainly a spectacle that the track star take on some average Joe. I can't help but feel embarrassed for doing such a thing. But it was fun. Splashing a handful of water against my face, having already drank a decent amount to cool me down. The tranquility of the locker room surrounds me as my eyes dart around the room. Seeing it so empty is certainly a new experience compared to the ruckus found before a typical gym class. Equipment lay strewn around the room, across the benches, and the few loose lockers, and my eyes continue to dart around. The entire experience topped off the event in more pronounced warmth of stereotypical gym sense. Standing stuck in my moments of thought, the sounds of the doors opening behind me break through the silence as they clash with those of my own breathing. Right now, I really don't have the energy to deal with anyone like Ken, so I continue my own business as I go back to take another sip from the water fountain.
Hi.
Excuse me? Ah! Slapping me hard in the back, water comes flying out of my mouth. I turn to face what's apparently Naomi in a state of shock. Drenched in a splash of water as it fell against my clothes, like the rain. Oh my god, sorry. Just what are you?
Calm down.
Stifled by her hand against my mouth, my eyes remain fixed on hers as she peers back with a sense of embarrassment.
Skip the next lesson with me. What?
What? What? Letting go of my face, my voice resonates around the small room as Naomi blushes flares up again.
I said calm down.
How can I be calm when you're just sprung out of nowhere?
Because.
Pushing me down against one of the benches, my back lands hard against the metal of the locker doors as Naomi glares down towards me. With her blush in full bloom, she's embarrassed.
I wanted to ask you something.
Can you ask me outside?
I said shut up!
No, you didn't.
Well, shut up and let me talk.
Okay then. Naomi, now hovering above me with embarrassment, pout strews across her face, bats her eyes away as her breath gets harsher. Signs of nervousness springing out from with her silence encapsulates us in the barren room.
I can't describe how happy I am. You helped me out with Kyoko. Being around her. Being around you. It's really fun. Even if you are a bit of an ass. But still, I really like you. Will you go out with me?
What? She's asking me out. With a flustered look, Naomi once again keeps her eyes completely away from my direction as her breath gets harsher in a newfound moment of silence. A heavy one at that. Part of me wants to think it's a joke, but with her blush getting even deeper, the reality quickly begins to sink in. My own heart, beating heavy, only gets captured in her trance as her words bounce around my mind. You want me to be your boyfriend?
Do you have to be so blunt about it?
You one who asked. Yet, with her anger flows out her inner sheepishness from her within the girly side of Naomi are relished in seething, seeing her real self. Knowing she's developed those feelings puts my own into question. I think I've developed them too. Without her, maybe I'd still be stuck with without a direction to follow. Stuck without a purpose. Having her company, it's really made me happy. Okay. Standing up from the bench, I turn to face Naomi as she locks eyes upon me. A distinct difference in her previously avoidant behavior.
What do you mean?
I mean, yes. I'll go out with you. Whoa! She kissed us. In a flash, a warmth meets my mouth as my world is encompassed by Naomi's fragrance. The smell of sweet sweat mixed in with her peach-scented shampoo, now right under my nose as the reality of her actions hits me. The slight moisture in her lips press against mine as I look down on her eyes. Now closed as she wraps her hands around me. Oh my goodness! These thumbnails are crazy! The slight moisture in her lips press against mine as I look down on her eyes. Alright. A kiss. Breaking away briefly, Naomi peers towards me. A true look of happiness in her eyes as the lips... Happiness in her eyes as the lips that were just against mine curl up in a smile.
I didn't expect things to go so smoothly.
What? Did you think I'd reject you?
Well, that thought was there, but I really do love you.
Whoa! Pressing her lips once against that. Pressing her lips oh my god. Pressing her lips against mine once again. Naomi's warmth flows through my body as she holds herself against me. Breaking herself away yet again, Naomi tugs against the zipper of her jacket. She slowly unsheathes herself from her clothes. Wait, isn't it a bit too soon for this?
That? No wonder you're such a pervert! This is the girls' changing room, you idiot!
Oh my god. What? Looking towards me more quizzically than embarrassed, Naomi's eyes locks onto mine for a single moment as she continues to undress right in before my eyes. Seeing her like this only makes my heart beat even faster than before. My girlfriend, Naomi, right before my eyes.
Didn't you see the sign?
Of course I didn't. For now I am my side. I take a saint not to rush her beauty. Athletic Bite is only accentuated by her more than prominent features.
Stop looking at my breasts.
What's with the change in attitude? You were just embarrassed minutes
What's the point
ago.
in being embarrassed now? You're going to see them eventually.
Yeah, what is going on? Taking yet another look over her while I can, her athletic body glistens softly as the light from above her hits her skin. Oh my god, I am flustered. Her spats still cling to her lower half as she slowly digs her fingers beneath them. You're taking them off?
No, you idiot. It's called a joke. You really do get worked up, don't you? Get out of here before someone else comes in.
Alright. Good things end too soon. Yo, what just happened? I waited for Naomi to finish changing. It's weird to think we're now a couple. All of that really seemed like a dream, yet here I am. We end up going to lessons after all. I'll be a little late. Perhaps we enjoyed the walk back to class too much. We held hands. Holy shit. Yo, we are done here. That is a lot to deal with. Holy smokes. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, wow. Alright. That was interesting. Thank you guys for watching. We are now in a relationship with Naomi, and we just saw her boobs. And we kissed. This is great. Alright, I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm out.